Alright everyone, I hope you have your bananas and assorted other snacks ready to go because I'm happy to announce it's time for a classic speaking in Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest run by Supreme. Take it away.
What's up everybody, I'm Supreme. I've got some Donkey Kong Country 2 here for you this evening over here now. Yeah, there's a lot going on, there's a lot to explain. I figure it's best to just dive right into it and let me and my expert commentator Spike Vegeta kind of take it from there. So countdown from 3, 2, 1, let's do it. So with wrong warps, I'll try and explain it as we go along. Basically what we're doing is we're creating an invisible object. This time we're doing it by clashing two enemies. Oh, take the hit, so we just gotta bail. We'll see many more other examples of wrong warps throughout the run, but that's bound to happen. Basically what I have to do there is throw that beetle as soon as it basically gets right up on Diddy. So there's a little bit of a tight timing there, but no big deal. I will need to take a little bit of a detour because I need Diddy to get up to this bonus for this warp barrel. So we just come over here, grab the boy, head on back.
Yeah, there's going to be many instances of the wrong warp that Supreme is going to be going for throughout this run. And they are very precise to actually make them work. There's a lot of magic tricks, I always describe it as, going on here. And now conveniently that he has Dixie out, he'll actually be able to go for the Lockjaw strat here in Lockjaw's locker, where he's going to try to float up into this warp barrel from below. Actually going to drop down, just pick up Diddy, throw it up. Didn't get the despawn barrel, so that's always nice to see.
Yeah. So basically what happened there is I had to roll off the edge at the very end of that little secret corridor, and then I had to narrowly wiggle myself down. So it's a little tight. Pretty easy to miss the roll, or if you get stuck to a wall, you basically just fall all the way down. There's no chance of getting it, which is why they call it Lockjaw. It's not truly luck, but it's really tight, and it's very easy to not get that. Another quick warp there.
Missing out on a couple frames or a couple seconds. So.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 seconds if you miss it. All right, this is our boy Crow.
Yep, first boss of the game.
First 2 shots, pretty simple. He's just gonna drop eggs. Oof, careful, if you bounce too high, you will just take damage, and then it slows things down considerably. Now it's kind of 50-50 whether you get a real egg, like this, or a fake egg that you cannot use. But it's fakeless. Moving on.
Let's go.
Let's go. Makes up for that failed wrong warp.
Every time I've done this for Marathon, I fail main brace. I'm just like, I'm still like getting my bearings straight.
Yeah.
Next wrong warp right here in Hothead Hop, where he's gonna come over, get a specific clash right here with this enemy, holding an invisible barrel, throwing the invisible barrel.
Oh, no way.
Oh, this is...
I did that exactly one time in my... Oh, she's just gone. Wow, this could not have started more disastrously for me. I have done that exactly once in my life, and it was like a week ago. Oh, I have them both again. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, I was like, you probably didn't, like, kill her? Oh, that was so weird. But okay, let's try this again. Get the invisible barrel, pick it up, throw Dixie up there. Don't get clipped into the wall weirdly this time. And instead of having to go through a couple extra load screens, he just gets to exit out to the world map. And the world map gets confused and just says, maybe you beat the level. I don't know. Now he's going to be going for the big boy right here. Basically a double jump that is perfectly executed by Supreme right there. Basically, you want to team up with Diddy, throw Dixie at an enemy that's basically max distance away from you. And then as she comes back to you, you press jump again, launching you up in the air, giving you effectively a double jump. And then you're able to jump him into that warp barrel, again, saving just a few seconds. That's the theme of these first 2 worlds. Everything's saving a few seconds. But with that, as we're going through the end of Crocodile Cauldron World 2, mainly just going to be going for some intended level warps here and there before we get to the boss. Do we have any messages we want to shout out from the host while we're getting there?
Wait, you can play this game intentionally during the speed?
I know,
it's
weird.
Christ.
But here and there.
We do have a donation I'd like to read out. IceFiend55 donates $25 and says, had to donate to such a great charity during such a great streamer's run. Go Supreme!
Oh, thanks,
And that's
Icefiend.
pulling Scoop. So nice, right? That's pulling Scoobert further ahead. So Becky fans, you're going to need to catch up if you want to name that dog. And that did also go toward our Discworld Rincewind cosplay, which is now at $60 out of a needed $500. So we've got some ground to make up there. Please keep those donations coming in, everyone.
Let's go. Thank y'all so much for all your
Awesome.
generosity. Let's get to 10K and beyond. Let's make it happen, chat.
All right, so if you're seeing me swap at goals, this is intentional. There's this goal swap, which if executed properly, that one wasn't quite perfect because you saw a little bit of the animation, but if done perfectly, it swaps the Kong into hitting the goal, basically. So you don't have to get that swap animation in full. And you start the next level with the Kong that you want. All right, we got past my greatest fear. I may have messed up a few things, but I did not bounce off the sword into the lava
Yeah,
that time.
that's the worst.
That position was a little weird. Normally you can throw right at it, but he was so far away.
Now
All right, so
go
this
for
is
the
lava fly.
fly.
This is gonna be tight. Yep, we got it though.
Beautiful. Now he has to respawn Cleaver on screen, otherwise that is a soft lock in the level.
Yep,
Has
if he
to
does
bait
not
him away.
if he does not do that little lunge at you, the hooks will not spawn and you cannot cross back over.
Yeah,
We're gonna
saving
see if
about
we can get
4
this for the
seconds.
fans here.
Ooh, can we make it happen?
Nah, I didn't get enough of a good jump there. If you time it right, or if Cleaver's in the right position and you jump into him barely with that cannonball, it'll still show Dixie hopping, and then Diddy will get frozen up in the air. We love to call that flying Diddy, because he just kind of sits there while Cleaver kind of blows up. All right, time for the meat and potatoes. No more intentional warps, only wrong warps from here.
Yep, as we make our way into Creme Way, or as I called it, Creme Quay. First time I saw it, I did not know the queue was silent. Judge me, it's fine. But we're going to be coming up on our boy Ramby. We're not judging him this time. He got a real big buff from how clunky he was in DKC1. We can charge him up and go absolutely flying across this stage. Basically setting yourself up perfectly, having good spacing with the enemies, and then jumping over all of this mess. Jumping off him, giving the Yoshi treatment right as you're coming up on that section so it doesn't blow him up into a coin. And now you're going to see Supreme do something a little kooky, doing that team up right there, and that is actually to store a super jump. He's going to be taking a damage boost with Diddy on one of these enemies right here, and that is actually launching Dixie well off the top of the screen to where now hopefully he can float his way all the way to the end, just barely making it, using this last barrel to get a little bit of a speed boost, and already done with barrel by you. Perfectly done by Supreme there.
So I'm going to give you guys a slight warning. There is potential for a flashing light warning here. There will be a fish here. He's going to join me in just a moment with a nice light here. When I turn, it gives a bright light like that. And sometimes you have to turn a few times, or if I make a mistake, I have to kind of correct my pathing. So there is a potential. Hopefully I play this level well enough where it's not very high.
As for the level itself from the speedrunning standpoint, it is, a lot of people say, one of, if not the hardest levels in the game to optimize, because you're not exactly going on straight paths left to right anywhere in this level. You're wiggling around, you're trying to cut corners as well as you can, and kind of learn which of these boxes are hit boxes and more just hit circles that you kind of curve around and make your way through. Dixie does actually have a slightly bigger hitbox than Diddy does underwater. So it is technically the safer strat if you wanted to swap to Diddy here, but he's going to be sticking with Dixie, hopefully the entire time as he makes his way to the end. Do we happen to have any more messages from Charbunny? Anybody throwing down
I wanted
anything?
to just tell you that you were not alone in misreading that particular word with the Q. Chat is also trying to figure out how it's pronounced.
Creme key is
You're in good
actually
company.
key.
Is it key?
Creme
Oh, I
key.
thought it was way.
I actually had a discussion about this with some of my friends unrelated to this game a couple days ago. It was kind of funny.
And here we are now going into Croc Head Clamor. Another very difficult just platforming level in its own right. Trying to do all of these very much rolling deep through the bayou right here. Clipping very far down to the water, but now setting up for one of the weirdest variants of a wrong warp you're ever going to see. Going to pick up your girlfriend, going to line himself up perfectly, get this guy to chase him, throw Dixie, take damage, fall into the barrel, hold right, and we're out of the level.
Done.
I don't know how it works.
I can usually like kind of give the layman's terms for a lot of the clashes and a lot of the barrel-based wrong warps. I have no idea the science behind that one at all.
DKC2 wrong warps are definitely pretty bizarre, but it's cool to see runners able to execute them perfectly on the fly, because again, they are very precise, where he had to line up Diddy, when he had to throw Dixie, and then how falling into the barrel, holding right at the proper times. But now we're into an infamous level in the game. We're Ratley the Snake, and a lot of it is just, this one doesn't require much in the way of like Ratley double jump tech, which we'll get into in some later levels. Here is just making sure you are in the air as much as possible, because he moves faster through the air than he does on ground. And just having creative routing out kind of how you bounce on the enemies to get through the level in the most efficient way possible.
Yeah, you watch me go by like 2 of those cannons. Don't like that. We're gonna do this. Yep, cool. You saw me kind of push forward a little bit to the edge of the camera, and that was intentional to make sure that their projectiles were not really directly in my path when I hit the ground.
All right, we got Slime Climb right here. One of my favorite strats in the entire run is right here, setting up for another instance of that super jump by swapping in the water, taking damage, and the Dixie goes, yay! Perfectly aligning yourself up with that next EK barrel, getting Diddy back, spawning this beetle on screen because we're going for another wrong warp. We need to clash the beetles now. You're holding an invisible barrel in your hair, and then fall down, and with good timing, get in the next wrong warp. That is such a scary one to execute. Because if you
miss that, that's a minute lost. That's it. When you get out of the bonus, you fall through the midpoint, so there is no restarting.
Another infamous level here in the game. We got Bramble Blast. Every time he lands one of these barrel shots where it is already facing the direction he wants it to go and then gets that insta-blast, it's just a couple frames he has to work with to nail it. Cool intentional damage boost right there to skip over about half of this barrel blasting maze. And then we're going to do a little whoop, 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 just barely zigging and zagging past all of those barrels. Re-picking up Dixie as he now sets up for another instance of that big boy double jump tech up here. Then going to be teaming up with Dixie, getting max distance away from this enemy, throwing Dixie, and then hopefully vaulting up with a double jump.
Too low. That's all right. Not a big time loss. What we're going to do instead is throw her up here, take a little bit of a damage boost, and skip over the Maze of Shame.
It's actually a really, really good backup. I've still never been able, that vine clip there is very, very difficult to do. And the backup there only loses about 7 seconds. So
yeah, it's not
much more than the probably 5 minutes, because I wouldn't know how to go through the maze if I had to go through it. But here we are. It's Cudgel. It's definitely one of the slowest parts of the run. Do you know for some little swag strats to say just a few seconds on making sure you land this barrel on him immediately? And we're seeing Supreme go for it right here, where what he's actually doing is counting the Dixie breath oscillations that you'll watch next time he's holding the barrel. Every hit he goes for, it's less amount of breath cycles that he's counting out. So he's got to make sure he always knows where he is in the fight. And this is in total, him doing this as opposed to just like standing a fair distance away and then throwing the barrel, is about a 2-second time save. That's just how much Supreme has gone for kind of optimizing this category and running it over the years.
I thought I messed up. That's why I backed away, and then he was still good.
Freaked out a little bit.
But yeah, so what I'm doing, I'm standing in this particular spot because it locks the camera. So he will always appear in that particular spot so I can walk behind him.
It's such bad manners that you just turn your back to him like a rock star and then just get up into his back.
Kongs don't look at explosions, man.
Should have just one hit left. We're through the cudgel boss. Yeah, as you can see, that one, I guess you're counting out like one breath cycle right there.
I literally, I don't even look at it. I just go one and then just move. Just don't even.
So now already into World 4 of 7. We got Crazy Kremland right here, and we got Hornet Hole, another one of my favorite levels in the speed run. Gonna be utilizing Dixie for a lot of this early part, just because the honey, it is sticky. They kept that true to form, and she's able to just hover over a lot of that mess. So this is definitely a generally preferred level for Dixie, although you can definitely do it with Diddy. Much harder, though. Now gonna be coming up, going for another damage boost as that barrel falls to give you Dixie back, and then utilize Diddy for the fast climbing, and then use your boy Squidder right here as we go for one of my favorite strats in the entire run, the Scrolly Scroll. Gonna try to land on the spider, the hook, and the web all at the same time. Get up here, locking the camera, and then
This sends us flying.
all the way to the end, off the damage boost, perfectly routed out to get another DK barrel right after this is happening. It's like the game is routing it for us. Now jumping up here, gonna hover down and wait for the camera to unlock, float across to the end, and bada bing, bada boom, already done with Hornet Hole. Beautifully done, Supreme.
Exciting times in the auto-scroller land. There's really not much going on here. Legitimately, the big tech in this level is skipping over, jumping on some enemies that you can jump on. So I think this is a great time to throw it over to Charbunny. If you have anything you would like to promote or talk about at this time.
The first thing I want to remind everyone is please stay hydrated. I know I haven't taken my eyes off the screen and I just now remembered that I have water in front of me. So if you, like me, are just absolutely entranced by this run, please make sure you take a drink of water when you remember to. And hey, while you're taking that drink of water, consider donating some money for this awesome charity. We are donating money for the Trevor Project. For the last 21 years, Trevor has worked to save young lives by providing support through their free and confidential crisis programs on platforms where young people spend their time, online and on the phone, with Trevor Lifeline, Trevor Chat, and Trevor Text. They also run Trevor Space, the world's largest safe space social media networking site for LGBTQ youth, and operate innovative education, research, and advocacy programs. This really is a fantastic cause, and every single dollar that you can put this way really makes a difference. So if you're enjoying the run, if you're enjoying the marathon, and are able to spare even just $5 for this awesome charity, it would really go a long way, and we would all really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So inspired by all of you, already raising, what, close to 3/4 of 10K between all of you. Let's get this sucker to 10K. As Supreme makes its way to the end of Target Terror, our first real auto-scroller of the run. And now we go into Bramble Scramble, where we have the Brambler, one of the most difficult wrong warps in the game. He has to have really, really clean movement throughout this. Going for the moonwalk strat to blast that bee out of here. Now it's have a good climb so that all of his IDs are correct for this wrong warp. Gonna pick up this beetle and has just a couple... frame window to drop it out of his hand, create this invisible barrel, jump across, turn left.
I figured this is a good time. This race is a good time to talk a little bit more about the wrong warps, the ones that usually use barrels or some kind of object anyways. So what's happening is you are creating an invisible object. An invisible object is obviously something that this game is not intended to have. So what the game essentially is looking for at that point is to cycle through ID saying, is it this, is it this, is it this, is it this? And the timing and the collision is to hopefully set it up to be a barrel or some kind of object that we can be shot out of. And in 1.0 release of this game, when that would happen, the game would just crash. So I don't know if this is official. This is my headcanon anyways, is that Nintendo saw this problem. They were like, oh crap, what do we do about this? And they could never quite figure out how to fix it. So instead they just have it spit you out and have you mark the level as complete. Ooh, that was close. So essentially it's just cycling through IDs, trying to find something for it to be when you throw it. And we just have it timing and have, we manipulate the IDs to be what we want it to be. So Spike was alluding to very tight timing with the IDs. The key thing for that one is you saw that Crook that threw his hook. His hook is a separate ID when it is thrown. It is not when it is on his body. So if that hook had gotten back to him before my IDs were set up the way I wanted them to be, I instead would have sent Squawks out of his box and flying to where nobody could find him. It's very funny.
I want Supreme to read me
but
some,
not what we want.
some Dr. Zeus books. The Crook with his hook, Squawks with his box. It was great. I was loving all of it. Losing Diddy back there, have to do a little bit of a right now. You can get a new boyfriend right here. And has to go underneath the eagle pit. Yeah,
We're gonna take some
good backup strats right here to kind of reset.
There we go.
Get himself up. That's a very, very scary section. The hardest levels in the entire run. Pick up a lot of speed off those flitters so you can go through the Sonic the Hedgehog, see the start of the...
Exactly.
Going through, punching through that, and now DKC2 jab, we gotta set up for another wrong warp. Taking out this cannon enemy right here, and now we're going to want to kill the first beetle with the cannonball. Ooh, yeah, I think that's good.
Oh, I'm gonna try it again. Dude, the beetles are getting me today. I'm now like over adjusting. Let's try that one again.
Yeah, thankfully you can jump right in here and it kind of resets everything up. So now he's got to go back, get the cannonball, because again, all of this is very precise where he needs enemies to be defeated, how he spawns like certain just objects and stuff on screen at the correct time. Picking up the beetle, has to break it off the other beetle, get a clash, pick up the invisible barrel, that's looking good. Ooh, dang.
So what makes this one particularly tricky, it is probably my personal least consistent one. What makes this one tricky is you see these pile of 3 beetles, right? 3 beetles. In order to get the IDs properly set up, and you saw how close those were together, the first 2 beetles must be spawned when I throw the cannonball. The third one cannot be spawned until I see the explosion of the cannonball hitting the beetle. So this is hopefully better.
Yeah, that's okay. That one's gotta work. Yeah. Muddle Marsh, definitely one of the hardest levels in the run. It is brutal platforming with a brutal wrong warp right at the end.
Oh, do we? Oh, I didn't get it. That's life. Okay, that's unfortunate. We had to take the slow way up now, but...
I just want to say we did cross $7,500 and we are almost to $7,600. So thank you everyone for these donations that are coming in. This is incredible.
Let's keep it going, chat. Absolutely inspirational stuff y'all are putting out this week.
But yeah, so that was a new strat. I maybe shouldn't have gone for it. Basically what I was aiming for there was to get a little bit of a damage boost, like a super jump type damage boost by throwing Dixie as I was getting chomped. I was just a few frames late. So unfortunately did not get it there, but that's all right.
I hear the Ramby part of Ramby Rumble, and for everyone who's like, oh, this looks scary, this is actually one of the more accessible things. Just charge it up and let it go. You have to do some things to kind of manipulate how Ramby moves, like dropping into neutral on the D-pad so that he doesn't lose speed by slamming into a wall like he had back there. But yeah, this is actually, for the most part, just run and jump, know a few visual cues, and even getting the...
Yeah, I had to get something right in these last few levels, man. So, like, when he says accessible, he's not joking at all. You literally charge up, and as long as you know where to jump, you let go of the face buttons in the D-pad. Like, you do not, it is actually detrimental to be holding down buttons at that point.
Yeah, the King Zing Sting right here. And a lot of what Supreme's just trying to do is knowing exactly when his iframes are going to run out, and then manipulating him to come up closer to the top of the screen sooner, because he always wants to move there before he becomes vulnerable for the next phase again. Beautiful shots from all 3 of those phases by Supreme. Now just has to take out all 4 of these. Wonderfully done. 2 more hits, and we are bada bing, bada boom, done with World 4. I've already did bada bing, bada boom twice, Chad. I don't know what's up with me right now. That's fine.
If you asked me which of the things I would have gotten right between Mud Hole, Ramby Rumble, and King Zing Sting, this would have been dead last. Like, that's just how this game goes, though, man. It is a game of frames. It is truly a game of frames.
this run does not. It just actually never slows down. As we now go into World 5, a lot of people might consider this at least one of the hardest stretches of levels in the run. That, another intentional damage boost right there, allowing him to be able to have iframes through the claptrap right there, or at least the DKC2 blue claptrap, I don't know what they're called in this game, and actually go through the porcupine instead, giving you that little bit of speed on the roll with Diddy.
Yeah, it's just I'm gonna grab that. It's just a small optimization over swapping to Diddy and lets you keep only one Kong out, which I think is a little bit of lag reduction as well.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely one of the newer age strats right there. Take the damage boost with Dixie. A nice delay from Supreme right there to make sure you can do a cartwheel through the first bits. Ooh, and then the scary roll underneath.
What the?
He just dropped off.
Ooh, that's why I grabbed the midpoint, because that can happen sometimes.
Yeah. So it's maybe just like barely off the top of it, trying to move. Obviously pretty fast here through the end of the level. So that was not going to cost too much. It's probably a good like 30 or 30 seconds or so. You can see all the beautiful movement once again.
We'll just have that. So that's actually not a terrible thing. It just happened one rope too early. I actually wanted that to happen on the next rope, so it would drop me down right on the goal like that. But I was holding, so basically just hold down and right, and that happened. So I was just ever so slightly holding down, and that's just how it goes. So hey, look, it's another auto scroller. We will get to, I think this is another good time to kick it over. Just talk about the tech real quick. You want to jump through the doors as high as possible, and you want to jump up and down slopes. That's really it. There's some barrels you don't have to hit. I don't have to hit either one of these, and oh no. So yeah, that's really all there is to this level. So if you want to toss it back over to Char Bunny.
Absolutely. I would love to read some of those donations that came in and really jump that number up. We have $10 from Saucy Fellow, who says 10K is within reach. Let's go! And they literally put so many O's in that it's breaking the tracker. Like, it's going off my screen right now. So that's pretty good.
Heck yeah, Saucy.
We also have $49.99 from Taco Von Dutch saying, "Let there be order," which is how we got back to a nice round number of percent. So order is currently winning. If you want chaos, you're going to have to donate again. And we also have $100 coming in from Anonymous. No comment, but by the way, that went toward our Nintendogs and Cats bid war. So Becky is actually back in the lead with $206.04 over Scoobert, which is close behind at $137.01. And shout outs to John Wada, which now does have $49.99 to their name. So if you want to switch that one around, make sure you get your donations in there.
I just want to give a shout out to the username Taco Von Dutch. That is legendary. I love finding good names on Twitch. It's great. Please come over to my channel. I'll make you a mod. It'll be great. That's all you need. Just a generally goofy name. All right.
Not at all.
Done with the last true auto scroller of the run.
Last one that we're gonna see, anyways.
Yep.
Gusty Glade.
Yep.
This level can be really rude. Its main gimmick is the wind blowing. It can resist. It can push you forward.
Yeah,
okay, that was a little tight. All right.
These pillars can definitely be pretty scary.
If you touch the nice rounded corners of them, they will likely pull you down into the foreboding abyss, never to be seen again. That's for safety. Gonna grab that. Normally we just fall right into the barrel. Gonna try and skip this. DK barrel. Don't. That's no big deal. All it does is just let us jump over the cutlasses instead of run into them with the barrel. All right, so what you're gonna see me do here is I'm going to set up for a goal swap by throwing into that barrel. So the goal swap works by having your Kongs flagged as in an aerial state, so it essentially sees them as landing on the goal. Or it has your backup Kong as being in an aerial state. So it sees Dixie as an aerial state, swap, Dixie quote unquote lands on the goal, and here we are into Parachute Panic. This is all Spike. I'm gonna try and focus my best.
Yeah, 2 of the hardest levels in the run. Parachute Panic. They want you to ride purple squawks all the way down through this level. Instead, he is going to fall down the entire thing, having the entire level mapped out in his head. You're going to see a lot of utilization of Dixie going into that hover, and he can't hover again until he lands on the floor. So he can't just hover, stop, hover whenever he wants. He has to have it very specifically routed out everywhere. Picking up a DK barrel right there. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a slower ending right here.
Yeah.
Can still land on the left side, buffer a jump, and
I'm
then
gonna
jump over these beasts. Yeah, I think this is
if I had Diddy, I would, but yeah. So what happened there is you have to do a very tight turnaround, and I'm gonna take this slow just so I can make sure I can bump here. So what we want to do is we want to bump our head here, like that,
Nice.
and sometimes, sorry, I had to map myself out.
Beautiful wiggle.
Sometimes he will not bonk his head if you don't position yourself properly, and you have to either take a slow backup or you probably more than likely just die. So I opted to take that a little bit slow at the end there, just in case. We had a little bit of that shaky middle ground.
Yeah, still always one of my 5 favorite moments in speedrunning to watch is people falling down Parachute Panic. But now it doesn't stop coming, it don't stop coming, and it don't stop coming, chat. As we are now Squidward the Spider, you can shoot so many different types of webs right here. You can make the instant webs with L and R to put it right underneath you. You can shoot them as bullets. You can also shoot them and curve the bullets as you go through. So all of this he has to have very specifically routed out because you can only have so many webs on screen. In addition to this, Supreme is going to be utilizing multiple damage boosts to give you that auto jump that the DKC series from the Super Nintendo era so loves to give you. So you can go up and right at that diagonal motion as much as possible, so you're not slowly sitting there shooting out the next web, shooting out the next platform. So a lot of what he's doing here in the Eagle Pit section is making sure that he's not going to get screwed and end up without a web in his pocket. Dropping down for another damage boost, up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right. Start shooting his way across, make sure he's got enough distance right here. Whoo! I peed every pair of pants that I have right there. That was terrifying. And now going in for one more over the gap, dropping down and out of Webwoods. Some scary moments, but beautifully done, Supreme.
Let me tell you, the amount of times that I've died on that last pit just sliding off of my web is more than 0, which is more times than I really care would have happened in my life. All right, so Crow 2, the RNG here is which side the barrel spawns on, left, middle, right. Right is optimal in the first 2, middle is optimal in the last, so we are already off to a nice start for once in my life. Let's see if he gives me left here.
Yeah, just go under the first couple. So you have this just kind of pathed out. It's always set, which I mean,
Jerk.
worst
What a
RNG
jerk.
right there, so he kind of has to wait, throw it up, pick up Dixie, and then hit these hooks as they're spawning in up above. Very cool strats. Now climbing out, sometimes jumping out far to bait the egg away. Up for the final phase right here. Sit in the corner, do some cartwheels. We got mid here. Right, left mid. Not awful. Do want to swap to Dixie right here.
Yeah, her fanfare is shorter, so we want her instead of the boombox, which I know people love. Yeah, I mean, that was, getting left in the second cycle is least optimal, but the other 2, I believe mid is optimal in the final hit, so that was
it is. Okay.
pretty darn lucky overall. So there's a nice zip here. It's kind of inconsistent, and just, I'm not a world record level runner, so I typically don't pursue it, but it is really cool and shortens this level by a good bit. You actually do not get on guard in that scenario. You come all the way over here to raise the water level, and then you have to take that lockjaw that I passed a moment ago. Yeah, should have known that was going to spawn in. And bait him all the way back to the start, because the on guard in this game is not very good.
On guard, yeah. Supreme is a runner of DKC 3 as well. He's so good
guard
at
in
that
DKC
game.
3
He's so bad at this.
is like literally 1 frame short of invincible. There's 1 frame where a certain enemy type can damage him in his lunge. Otherwise, you literally just go to town and you can just press Y to win. But yeah, you literally take the lockjaw back to the start because the goalpost is actually directly above like where the unguard barrel is, and you have the lockjaw hit you in the wall, and and that causes you to zip up right to where the goalpost is.
Yeah, I believe optimally it saves like 10 seconds because it's a lot. Oh, it's 15.
Yeah, it's... So I guess technically it's a net of 12 because there's a strat you can do here if you don't do the zip.
Okay.
That saves you 3 seconds in this level, and it saves you 15 seconds, so it's a net of 12 because you can't do the strat if you do the zip.
Yeah, the one where they kind of like do the they throw Dixie.
They throw Diddy. They do the big boy with at the very start of the level. Yeah.
But either way, we now go into chat. This is always the level where I like to ask. We're doing a lot of optimization, just routing through this level. But what's everyone's favorite Donkey Kong Country track? Because I absolutely love Mining Melancholy. This track is great. And while we're hearing about that, we got the midpoint section. Very interesting routing right here. Going to get Diddy out of the box right there, and then take damage at the height of your float up there, boosting Diddy up into the next section, skipping over a whole side section of crap over there, and now going on to the last part of the level. Super cool.
We're gonna try and skip. There's gonna be a set of 3 Bs up here. We're gonna try and skip one of them, but it's pretty precise. No, I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna hit the B. I didn't move over to the left enough. So yeah, it saves about 2 seconds, so it's not the end of the world, but it's a really just neat little thing because it is a very tight window to jump into.
Yeah, and it's a scary one to go for sure, because with the next level, the trick he wants to go for, he needs 2 Kongs to make it work.
Yeah.
So if he lost it, he would have to backtrack to another.
I would have to go back
one.
into Arctic to get a Kong, because I believe that's still faster than going to get the first barrel out of Windy. All right, so you remember our Cutlass friend from Crockhead that let us do the wrong warp? We're gonna do something a little weirder.
Right here we have one of the newest wrong warps in the game. We got an invisible barrel in our hand. This one's very difficult to pull off. What a first try legend.
Oh boy. Yeah, so we make the invisible object to spawn the cutlet, or and that time when we cycle through the IDs, we are trying to grab the cutlass, which is what I did. I grabbed and threw the cutlass back onto that platform. And so then we use that similar tech to Crockhead Clamor with Dixie getting hit with the barrel, only this time she's Ramby. It's very fascinating. I really wish I had a good understanding of how it works, but it is a pretty neat trick that lets you skip even more of Castle Crush than we used to. We used to do a trick called a goal spawn, which would basically bring the goal to us, for lack of a better term or definition. Ooh, threw up that time. Hold on, let me recover my speed here.
Yeah, a lot of it you kind of have to do it
what the heck? All right.
Yeah,
I'm having trouble throwing today in the correct direction. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, either way, the level's almost over. It's not going to cost him too much time right here. Gonna have to pick up Diddy at the start of Chain Link Chamber, coming up here a little bit.
Oh, that guy was not where I was expecting to be. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, again, that's
unfortunate that I did not grab the midpoint. Yeah, Dixie. Yeah.
I will say that chat definitely answered the call to put their favorite songs in. There was a lot of variety among what people thought was the best track in Donkey Kong.
As it should be. David Wise, like, absolutely. I always forget the other composer that he worked with on a lot of this.
I forget if she was involved heavily in this game, but Evelyn Fisher is the one who does a lot of work with 3 as well.
Yeah, and 3 is absolutely... DKC 2 is one of my favorite gaming soundtracks of all time, but 3 is absolutely full of bangers as well.
While we're re-navigating, do we have time for a few more donations?
Absolutely.
Awesome. We have $25 from we have $25 from Toro Kasi, who says, "Good luck, Supreme." And we have $6 from Anonymous, who says, "Banana has 6 letters, so here's $6. Fantastic run so far. Keep it up." Chat, if anyone else would like to get in and start a $6 banana train, I think that'd be pretty fantastic.
That'd be great.
And with these donations, we actually are over halfway to the incentive for the Discworld Rincewind cosplay. We are at $251 out of a needed $500. So we're on the way to making that happen, but it still does need your support. Please, everyone, keep donating. Thank you so much for all of your generosity.
Coming in, Supreme going for the last wrong warp of the run. We're here in Chain Link Chamber, going to bait this enemy back, clash it with the cannonball, make sure we scroll the screen right, go pick up the cannonball, make sure we jump into it from the correct side, and then blast out of a Chain Link Chamber. Done and done, but now we go right into Toxic Tower. A lot of people might say maybe the hardest level in the entire run. We have got Ratley, and he is coming in with the Ratley double jumps.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, gonna have to take a little bit of a slower route here.
Yeah, I am not by any means an expert at Ratley double jumps. I would say at my skill level, it's probably the one thing that I am the least proficient in, but...
I'm the same way. I have no idea how they work. I still do this little game intended, little charge up jumps. But yeah, Ratley can somehow get this bizarre little double jump out of the air. Only a few frames to work with to actually nail all of these. Trying to go for a big one right here.
Yeah. I think my hands are a little too shaky from some of these errors, so... Whoa! Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. That's not good. Yeah, I think my hands are just a little shaky from that clappers.
Yeah, this is a absolutely brutal speed run.
I'm
it
still
really doesn't stop. Go ahead, yeah, Charmaine.
I was just gonna say, I'm still so impressed. I know Chad is as well with how many of these impossible looking tricks you've managed to nail so far. So please keep going. This is absolutely fantastic to watch. This is a treat for everyone's eyeballs.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been, as far as my marathon runs go, it's a very odd one, and where most of the big tricks are like bam, 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 bam. And it's like Clapper's Cavern, which is like consistently the easiest level in World 6 is like death. So it's been a bizarre one for me for sure. Come on.
It's where that's never happened before comes from right there. Now good, just trying to manipulate exactly where the bee is right there, getting these little bops off of them. He is almost to the end of the Ratley section, getting to the midpoint barrel here with Squawks. A lot of it's going to be obviously good flight patterns right here, and knowing also how to shoot these nuts out and take out the bees from long distance. Going for the aggressive damage boost route right here. Now just trying to kind of manipulate his camera to keep the bees in more advantageous spots for him to move through just a little bit faster. We got the top one right here. We got to take out two of these bad boys right here. Leave one behind in each of those to tell their story.
We're going to take off. Normally we could skip through two of them. I did not quite get enough speed just to be safe. We are going to take them all out. And all right, that is the end of World 6. We have one level, one boss to go. For whatever reason, they just wanted to, instead of give you a boss here, they wanted to taunt you. If you grew up with the GBA version, this may look weird. There actually is a boss at the top of the castle in the GBA version. Yes.
I never knew. I haven't played the GBA version yet.
It's an experience.
That's usually what I hear for those. Either way, now we go into the final level. Like you say, it's only one level right here. We got Screech's Sprint. Really a level with two parts. We've got on foot for this first bit. Every time he kind of turns to the left right there, it's allowing the camera to scroll at a point where he can almost do this like moonwalk type motion to gain a lot of speed, resetting the enemies, and then you can roll through them because of resetting them on the camera. Great jumping up this rope right here. Just go really, really fast into the squawk session, hitting that midpoint barrel. And now we go into what should be the race.
Yeah. So there's a tight little window. Saves you about 3 seconds where you can actually skip the start of the race. You lose out on the good music though, so might as well give you the good music.
This for the fans. Yeah. Skipping out of that, like I said, it only skips out on the very start of the race. Can pick up potentially a backup DK barrel right here. Looks like Supreme's just gonna go for it.
Absolutely not worth it. I had to not try and fly through this ring. There's a little tight window which you can flutter through it, but for safety, I will take my 1 second and hopefully live to tell the tale about it.
Yeah, almost to the end of the level. Just has to go through one more little set of enemies. Just holding down so you don't get too much height. dropping out. And nicely done. Got the quick ending as well because he never went too high up on the level. The game actually keeps that in memory right there. So
yep.
Cool stuff.
It'll keep that height in memory. So when I was climbing that first tall vertical chamber of squawks, there's normally a blast barrel, kind of like the one I took at the start, that fires you vertically up, but it fires you much higher up in that vertical shaft. So had I taken that route, I would not have been able to fall directly on the goal. I would have had to kind of do a little hesitation move after crossing the no squawk sign. And otherwise, if you fall in it with too much height, then that's when you get the Diddy wrap. So yeah, let's kick it over. This is a pretty straightforward fight. Really only just some poorly timed jumps stand between me and the end. So before we get to the final phase, we'll send it over one last time for anything from the host.
Awesome. I want to say thank you everyone who hopped on that $6 train. We had $6 from Reward at Drawer who says, "Banan." No A, but thank you. We have $6 from Taco Von Dutch again saying, "Banana train, what Stefani would be proud of us all." We also have $6 from Final Flame who says, "I've been told there's a $6 banana train. Am I hearing this right?" Yes, you are. And we have $6 from Amber Cyprin who says, "Time for the Donkey Konky Banana Pajama Slammer. What a fantastic run so far, Supreme. Hearts." I want to shout, we had a $14.32 donation from Final Flame, which had put our number at 65432, and now we have a new donation of $23.45 from Ori Sky, which puts it at 7677.77. So thank you everyone again. This is fantastic.
Thank you all so much. This has been awesome to be a part of this event. You guys still have one more entire day of awesome speedrunning after this. We still got a little bit more in tonight as well. Supreme here in Phase 3. We're about to start Phase 3 of the final boss, King K. Rool. Again, sadly, the slowest part of the run is probably right at the end. Like you said, the most he's trying to do is trying to have dustless throws right here. But here's really the thing we're going for. It's Blue Diddy.
Blue Diddy for the fans.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be just in blue at all times like this. He has the color of the Blue Diddy without actually being slowed down by it in any way.
Okay. I don't know what just happened there. That is the big struggle today, is I am throwing things not in the correct direction. All right, let's try not to die. Okay. All right. So there is no more safety. There is only dodging.
All right.
I decided to make this very spicy at the end.
Oh, nice. The big dodges. 2 more hits, chat. 1 more hit right here. That Spring's got to survive. At least he's sitting here with just Diddy as opposed to just Dixie. Makes the last section a little scarier.
This is very scary, though. That's fine. The nice thing about Diddy, I'm gonna try this. This may bite me. Okay, cool. We're fine. The only thing that's gonna be problematic here,
Watch out for
I'm gonna bait him away.
Good, yeah, that was a good way to handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yo, my man, clutching it out. Let's go.
And time. I don't even know what time that was. Those deaths were pretty costly. But yeah, that's DKC2. I'm glad that most of the tricks went pretty well. I think that's really the bread and butter and the cool part of this run. I'm glad I gave you guys a very clenching end to what is normally an incredibly boring fight.
Yeah, everyone go clinch up. That's great. That's fun.
Am I allowed to breathe again?
Yeah, you're good.
I just kind of forgot to for the end of that. That was fantastic. Thank you.
I've done this run of marathons before, and I was in that same boat, and I died instead. I was like, well, here's 3 more minutes of K-Rool. It's the worst feeling in the world. So you didn't pull a me at it, so that's good. Like I said, so many strats pulled off. This is... that was a much better performance than, like, whatever time it might have reflected right there. This game is absolutely brutal to run. You could easily lose minutes to, like, being off by frames in some spots.
Yeah, it really is a game of frames, especially when you get to some of these optimizations. There's a lot of the rolls over pits, you know, you can only make if you roll at the almost like the literal last second that you can go without falling into the pit. There's so many, you know, frame perfect tricks. There's some that I didn't even go for that you can do that are a little bit more difficult or a little bit more advanced. It is a beautiful speed game. It is one of my favorites, has been long before I ever even ran it. It is just so smooth and so cool to watch.
It was fantastic. Any final shout outs before we head out?
Big shout outs to Spike for joining me. I'm always happy to have my boy with me. I've known him for many, many years, and I love sharing the stage with him in any capacity. Big shout outs to the DKC community. You guys, you know, even though I've been kind of on and off active with this game forever, you guys, you know, push it so much. I'm always so wowed by the things that you guys find in these games. So big shout outs to you guys and all the work that you've done over the years. And I think that'll do it.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for being here and putting on such an absolutely fantastic showcase of an incredibly classic speed game. Chat, can we please get one more giant virtual celebratory round of applause for that run? Thank you everyone for watching.